What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Gould's Gaming and Tech channel. It has been 2 weeks since I have unboxed and opened this Galaxy Z Fold 5, but it's been a long time coming since I had a folding device. I didn't have one since the Fold 3, and I was very anxious to go back to the folding form factor that is the Galaxy Z Fold 5 from my previous iPhone 13 Pro Max and iPhone 14 Pro Max. So, and I'm here to give you guys my unscripted review. I'm not every other YouTuber that you watch and they're very monotone. They give you the same specs. They come pretty much to the same conclusion. They damn near say the same words. I'm not here for that. I'm here to give you guys the unscripted review 2 weeks in of using this device. I didn't want to do a 1 week review because I've been away from this form factor for a while now, at least 2.5 years, and I didn't want to be biased with all the hype after 1 week of use. So I figured to give it an extra week just to let my thoughts pretty much settle in and see if they were accurate to what I was kind of experiencing. So that's why I took 2 weeks to kind of figure this out. And I must say, my conclusion is I'm sold, but we're gonna go through all that in this review. As always, of course, we have to talk about it. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Spider-Man, he definitely would appreciate that. Me and him are partners in this here YouTube channel. And if you're new or returning, make sure to hit that like button. It's definitely appreciated. Ain't that right, Spidey? He daps me up later. But anyways, we're going to basically break this down to things I like and things I don't like. And the list of things I like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I had to basically narrow the things I like down because the list was very long. I must admit it was very long. And again, my perspective and experience is from someone who was using Apple and now going back to Android, i.e. Samsung. So I had to narrow that list down because it was getting way too long. But sit tight for this one. If you got a swig of water or juice or something, you need some snacks, grab those now, because this is not going to be one that I can explain within 4 to 5 minutes. I just can't. There's so much to talk about when it comes to this phone. So basically, the price of this device, this is the 512 gigabyte version. This is the cream color. This was about $19.19. No, that is not $19.19. Samsung does not play those type of games. This was $1,919. If you wanted this device and you wanted to pre-order it, and I think even now you can get this device for about $17.19, I believe. So it's about $200 off of the original price, and you got a free storage upgrade. So you can pretty much get this, at least the last time I checked, which was today, you can get this device for about $17.99, which is the entry price, but you can get a storage upgrade for that same price. So that's how we ended up to here. But I gotta be honest with you guys, off rip, and this, I haven't even gotten into the list yet, but the price for this device, way too high. I know this is great innovation and this is something great that you want to use, you want to get your hands on. It's something different. It's not the standard brick style phone, but the price for this phone is way too high. But we'll get into that when it comes to the dislike list, because obviously that is on there. Pretty much some of the basic stuff, and again, this is still before I get into the list, is the design for this device. Now, the design is similar to the Fold 4 in a sense of it almost looks exactly the same, even though it is not the same. But as far as the design is very similar. It has minor upgrades, so it folds completely flat. The flash is now here, and then the inner display is a whopping 1,750 nits peak brightness. So those are the minor upgrades that you're going to notice. And then overall, it's a slimmer device than the predecessor. So first thing on the list of the things I don't like I said, is the price. The price is way too freaking high. And there's reasoning behind why I think this is way too high, and it's on the I don't like list because the price without any discounts for at least this version is $1,919. Again, Samsung has great trade-in promotions and everything like that, but say you don't have a device that's on that list that Samsung wants you to trade in, then you're kind of out of luck. They do offer like government discounts, military, school, things like that, but And off chance that you don't apply or you don't qualify for any of those, you're paying for $2,000 worth of phone out of pocket. So that's not even the worst part about it. This phone is a folding phone. It's pretty innovative, but it is compatible with an S Pen. So if you get this phone along with no case, no S Pen case or anything, that price does not include the S Pen. And there's a new redesigned, slimmer S Pen that you won't even have access to. You would have to buy that separate. And most of the cases on Samsung's website for this phone in particular are at minimum $80 to $100. So you're already dishing out an additional $100 for a case for this phone on top of the $2,000 you have to pay for this one in particular. So speaking on the cases, I have two cases, at least for right now, from Samsung's website that are compatible with this device here. This is the Slim S Pen case. This case actually comes with the S Pen in it, as you can see. Great accessory for this, but like I just said, the cases for this phone are $100. This one in particular, it comes with the S Pen, and again, these aren't made out of anything special. This is hard plastic, and it comes with an S Pen. $100 for this. $100 for this. Even the slimmer eco leather cases, they are about $80 on Samsung's website, and it's just a plain regular case. And that's not just with Samsung, that's with a lot of third parties. They seem to think that since this phone is already expensive and it basically costs a freaking mortgage, they're like, oh, they can afford a $100 case. And these third-party companies are getting a little too happy with that, and they are pricing their cases for this phone around that $80 to $100 margins. Another thing I do not like, this front camera right here and the inner display camera right here. I rarely ever use them. Pretty much for Face ID, that's the only thing I use it for. But other than that, to take actual pictures on, horrible. So I'm gonna show you really quick. We're gonna take a picture of Spidey. All right, so we're gonna use the front camera to take a picture of Spidey because he is not camera shy. And then we're gonna use the inner display camera to take a picture, and I'm gonna show you guys the results. So as you can see, this is the inner display camera right here. I will also post it right here so you guys can see it for yourself. But this is the inner display camera, and this is how the picture came out. And then if I swipe left right here, this is the front display picture. And I made sure to double tap on Spidey so he gets focused on. And this is the quality of video, or picture I should say, that came out. All right, the next thing on the list that I don't like or could use some improvement is the battery. Now in this device, it has a 4400 milliamp battery. It could use some improvement. One display here and then a very large display right here. So you're going to burn a lot of battery throughout the day. I'll probably, by the time I get home, so let's say, for example, say you work a 9 to 5. You start your day at about 8 so you can get ready, kind of get to where you're going. You're using your phone throughout the day to maybe check emails, make phone calls, text messages, watch some entertainment, media, whatever the case may be. With average usage, if say you're home about 6 o'clock because of traffic, whatever the case is, with average usage, when you get home, you're probably on about 55 to 60%. Now, heavy usage or moderate to heavy usage, you're looking at, when you get home, you're looking at about 39 to 43%. Say it's a Friday and you plan on going out with your friends and you haven't charged your phone, but you worked all day. You start your day at 8 a.m. and then you get home, change, whatever the case may be. If you do remember to charge your phone, then you should be good to go while you're kind of getting ready. But if you by chance forget and you're going out for the night and you're out, say until, we'll lowball it, say until maybe 11 or 11:30. By the time you get home, you will probably be on about 15 to 10%. Another thing I do not like is it's not the always on display. Don't get me wrong, don't get me mistaken. I do like the always on display. You have your always on display. You can get your notifications right here. You can kind of see what category of notifications that you have right here. I feel like it's limited and it needs to take a leap forward because you have basically that small circumference of your always on display. That is good for this device in the sense of it's already a big device. The battery isn't the biggest. It would be nice to have new customization features when it comes to that always on display. So let's type in here, always on display, right here, lock screen, and then you have your always on display right here. So tap to show always, all those settings as well. So you can choose between several options right here. You can choose stickers, AR emoji, Bitmoji, gallery, and themes. Again, this will only change this particular spot. I have this one. It kind of goes with my Joker theme, you know, the whole why so serious thing like that. But I wish it would fill up more. This is the always on display. If you can see it right here on the large main display, basically. And this is it on the front cover display. So do I like it? Yeah, I like it, but I wish it takes up a little bit more space. That's all I'm saying. Another thing I do not like is the face unlock. I don't know if it's just me or if my ugly mug just can't comprehend. Face ID or facial recognition on this phone is not the best. I mean, it works a decent amount of time, but a lot of times I've noticed I'm better off just using my fingerprint with the fingerprint sensor, because the Face ID works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. So let's try to open it right now. So it worked just then, right now, and you can set up alternative looks. So if you wear glasses or whatever the case is, you can set up alternative looks. Say you have a beard one week and then another week you don't. I've noticed sometimes where maybe I'm like sweating, or it's the lighting outside that's preventing my Face ID to work or facial recognition to work. Sometimes it does not work. Now, the room we're in right now is a well-lit room with the appropriate studio lighting, so in that regard it's working. But I've noticed when I'm out, because I live in Florida, out in the sun and everything like that, it's very tough for that facial recognition. That's not too much of a big deal, but it's something that I noticed that could be improved upon. All right, another thing that could be improved, not that I necessarily don't like it, because there's a simple solution for this one, just open the freaking phone up, is the narrow display. So the display, it's narrow. It's what they call candy bar. And when it comes to typing on this device here, it does depend on your fingers and how big your hands are. But if I want to type something on here, sometimes the text can be kind of jumbled together and it misreads what you're trying to type, or you just hit the wrong key because you are typing so quickly or whatever the case is. But sometimes I've noticed that it will type in the wrong thing. So for example, I just tried to type in Gould's Gaming and Tech. As you can see, that is not Gould's Gaming, that's Gould Gaming. Don't know what that is, but yes, you will have those occurrences sometimes where, depending on your hand size and how you have your outer keyboard constructed, that when you type, you're going to have typos. But is that the biggest of deal? No, it's not. The height on it is fine for me. It's just if it was a tiny bit wider, and I don't even need like an inch, I would probably just need maybe this little bit right here. All right, now the last two things on the list of things I don't like about this phone, even though I'm a fan of this color and I like this color, the color options for this phone are very limited. You only pretty much have, I believe it's black, you have icy blue, you have cream, there's like a gray, and then there's like two-tone colors, but it's very like basic bland colors. It's basically black, white, and gray. That's the way I look at it. Black, white, gray, and then there's a blue color. Yes, this cream does look cream. It's not white. It can look white at certain angles, but it's actually a cream color, which I'm a fan of. I really like this color. My previous phone, which was the iPhone 14 Pro Max, it was that deep purple. I wanted to get the color that kind of stood out the most, and I wasn't too much of a fan of the icy blue when it came to this phone, so I got the cream color. It's not often that I use this device without a case, so it would be kind of pointless for me to put a D-brand skin on it just to put a case on top of it. We need some more, extravagant colors that will really catch the eye, like, a mint green, or bring back the burgundy, or like a really spicy, orange that's kind of like a fire color, something like that. I don't know. These are just, topics. Samsung, feel free to take some of those. Give us some extra colors with a little bit of more oomph. Isn't that right, Spidey? That's right. All right. Last thing on the list of things I don't like is the black bars. So most apps are optimized for this device here, but when you're watching media, for example, you will have black bars around your video that you're playing. Instead of telling you, I will show you what I'm talking about. There are massive black bars at the top and the bottom, and even if I change the orientation this way, there are even bigger bars at the top and the bottom. Granted, this is an unorthodox aspect ratio for certain media applications to run on, but there are massive bars here. You can pinch it in to zoom in a little bit and kind of get full screen, but again, it does crop out some of the picture that you would normally see, and it changes your viewing experience because it's kind of hyper zoomed on whatever's in the center. And if you're watching a movie, for example, and they have things or actions going on the sides, it will cut some of those things out. So that's what I recommend. They kind of improve. You zoom in, you have a pretty good experience. Zoom out, you have those massive bars there. So that's all I have to say about that. Now let's get to the good stuff, the things that I do like. And Spidey, you have to keep me within our time frame because I'm not trying to make this video too long. The design, I am a big fan of this design. Again, this closes completely flat when previous versions did not. Now, when I say completely, it's not complete. If you really want to nitpick and, be super precise, there is somewhat of a gap in there that you can kind of see the other side. You can't see it now because this surface is black, but for all intents and purposes, for all I care about, this closes completely flat. The design is way thinner than what I remember with my Galaxy Z Fold 3. And I'm a super fan of this just closing completely flat because I know it's challenging with that IP rating as far as trying to get water and dust resistant. And with this being an open and closing device, it's kind of hard to get both of those things because you open your device and it's susceptible to whatever the elements may be that can get in between and cause damage and get inside your device. Next is the adaptive refresh rate on the display. So as you can see here, it's very smooth and you can modify your adaptive refresh rate in your settings. If you go to settings here, just go to display right here, and then you will see motion smoothness right here. It's on adaptive. So if you want adaptive, as you can say, you can adjust your cover screen's refresh rate. Open your phone to adjust the refresh rate for the main screen as well. So adaptive, you can get smoother animations and scrolling by automatically adjusting your screen refresh rate up to 120 Hertz. Now, standard, you get longer battery life by automatically adjusting your screen refresh rate up to 60 Hertz. So again, from what I spoke about earlier with the battery, that could contribute to why my battery drains at the rate that it does because I refuse to use this phone in anything but adaptive refresh rate because I want all 120 Hertz when I have the option to do so. Next thing I like and love are the widgets on here. They stand out, at least to me. They don't look like the widgets that I'm used to. If I hold on this right here and I click settings, this allows me to customize this widget with my background color where I want it white or black. And then you can also change the transparency of the widget. On a lot of phones, you cannot do that. I really enjoy this feature because it allows you to have a better home screen or customization experience, and you can also make it match with your dark modes. All right, the next thing on the list of things I like is the hinge. It feels very secure and very solid. It's barely open and it's holding up. Let's see what is the angle that I need for it to snap closed. It's basically closed and it's still not snapping closed. And then there are closed right there. But outside of that, you can put this phone at any angle and it will stay. And you have to apply a little bit of force to adjust this, I must say, because the hinge feels very solid and very secure. Another feature that I like is the flex mode. So this is very useful for when your hands are basically tied up and other things. You can basically set your phone down here, set your phone down and kind of go through your controls like this. Or if you're trying to make a video and you want to record yourself, so you could set, as you can see, you have multiple viewing angles, but you can set your phone down and just watch your media. Or if you're trying to take a picture, you can set a timer, click here and just kind of let it prompt itself up. And you can also mirror that outside screen. So while it is in this flex mode, you can see, if I flip it this way, you can see what the camera's taking a picture of. This is one of my most recent videos about the eco leather case that Samsung just put out for this phone, so make sure to check that out. But put this in flex mode. You have some media controls right here if you want to navigate this that way. Obviously, you can slide the scale here to skip in your media. You can go back 10 seconds, forward 10 seconds, pause, play, skip, and you can also change this here so you have a different media control down here. Now, this is awesome, and this is only possible in the flex mode. So it gives you several options right here. You can use this section right here as a touchpad, and it acts as a mouse. You can do other things. You can take screenshots. All right, next feature that I love is you're looking at it right here, the main cameras, and the main camera is pretty much what I use anytime I'm trying to capture some media. So as you can see, we go to the camera app right here, and then you have the cameras. These are the main display cameras right here. So let's try to get this in focus. So you have Spidey right here, but the main reason why I like this camera is because it gives pretty decent pictures, and it also offers that remastering feature after you take the picture. But it's this main thing right here, cover screen preview on. So as you are taking a picture, whatever and whoever you're taking a picture of can see exactly what is in frame. If you want to sit your phone down, put a timer on, and go out to be included in the picture, it will allow you to see if you're all in frame, see exactly what you're trying to capture. And then also another feature with the camera is auto tracking. Basically, you put some objects in the frame and say you're doing a group photo. If you want more people in the photo or someone comes in late, the camera will and should automatically adjust to include that extra party, that extra object or person, and it will expand the range field of view of that camera, so it'll include everybody. And it does it on its own without you prompting it to do so, because it's better if you guys see the quality of pictures and videos that this device takes for yourself. I set up a little slideshow for you guys to check out and judge for yourself. So check it out. We'll be right back. The next thing on the list of things that I do like is none other than the slimmer S Pen. Now, this is not the phone itself, but this was created in conjunction with this phone. Now, this S Pen is, I believe they said, about 30% slimmer. There is a dramatic difference in size when it comes to these devices as far as top to bottom and the width itself, and it doesn't take up too much space away from the case. And look how flat this case is with the S Pen attached to it. The biggest point of contention for most people with the S Pen with this device is that there's no place to store the S Pen. There is no dedicated S Pen slot for anyone to put an S Pen in. So traditionally you had to carry a case with an S Pen slot. And also on that note, with this S Pen being able to store on this case without me really noticing it, it makes me use the S Pen a lot more. I've never been a big fan of the S Pen. I wasn't like against the S Pen, but I didn't use it as much as I feel like I should have. And now with this being stored it makes me use the S Pen a lot more than I normally would have. So as you can see, if you press the button right here, it'll make this menu appear and disappear as you're trying to use the S Pen. All right, another thing that I absolutely love is I haven't had a fingerprint reader in years now, and now going back to this phone, the fingerprint reader works so smooth, seamless. I touch it, it's open like instantly. There's no lag, there's no delay. If I want to get in my phone, I get into it, and then you can also, you know, put different angles of your thumb on there, and then this phone actually allows you to use different fingers. So I added this fingerprint as one of the biometric fingerprints that I want to use to unlock this phone. All right, another thing that I love, absolutely love, and I notice I'm using this a lot more with this phone, is the multitasking productivity of this bad boy. As you can see, I have two apps paired right here. And now you guys know, if you have this phone or have been researching anything about this phone, you can be a multitasking beast with this thing. So these apps are paired here. If I tap on here, these will launch together. And basically, you can do this with almost any app. I think you can do with any app, but you can be on Instagram on one end, or even, you know, look at the news. You can go here and then maybe bring up this right here and then kind of go through, like, you know, updated articles on what's relevant to you. Meanwhile, you're scrolling through Instagram, seeing what's going on, and then also you're listening to some entertaining TikTok videos. So everything is fully functional. It's like the full app, but it's condensed so you can utilize it. And then if you want to change things around, you can just tap that multi window right there, so you can kind of switch things and it'll show you what direction it'll switch in. And also, if you like this certain setup, you can press this star right here to favorite it, and it will put it on your edge panel as a grouping pairs. All right, another thing that I like on here, and again, I'm trying to make this video not too long, but it's so much that this phone offers, is the optimization for certain apps. Now, those of you who are early adopters of this folding form factor, and at least with Samsung, you knew that when you open Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, things like that, it wasn't completely optimized for the entire screen. So when you would look at it, you have bars on the side, just black bars on the side, and your media would be in the middle. But now it's completely optimized where you don't have to basically jimmy rig it or use any third-party apps to get this to be full screen. You don't have to mess with the settings. All right, next thing on the list of things I like, and we'll make this one quick because not too much to it, is, as you can see right here, this taskbar. Now these will show up to 4 most recent apps that you are using, so you can switch quickly between them and you don't have to pull up your app menu again. It'll just be conveniently here. Overall, I think this is a great and amazing product. I highly recommend this phone. Now, on the other hand, if you have the Galaxy Z Fold 4 or just don't have the money to get this new device, or you don't have one of those trade-ins on that list to drastically reduce the price of this, then I recommend do not get this. A lot of people who had the 4, the sentiment is it's pretty much similar to the 4 with minor upgrades. If you have the 4, I wouldn't recommend getting it. If you have the 3 or anything previous, I would definitely recommend getting this because there's enough changes to make you notice the difference. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And as always, if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace.